Hey there, welcome to another edition of Feedback Matters, the YouTube channel of database sciences and our cloud-based feedback services, Guest Insight, and Listen Keenly. In our last video, we tried to pin down exactly what customer or guest loyalty is. Rather than agreeing on one of the many definitions you can find by looking on the internet or in consumer behavior textbooks, we settled on the idea that a loyal guest or customer is best defined by the behaviors they exhibit. Specifically, that they are repeat customers or guests, they come back, and that they recommend businesses that they are loyal to. In this video, I'll take you through how we measure the loyalty of our clients, guests, and customers during feedback surveys. So in that last video, in addition to identifying the behaviors of loyal customers, we also touched on the idea that loyalty has different strengths and that can vary for people. A good way to look at this is through personal experience. Think of things like restaurants, hotels, stores, beverages, or say even clothing brands that you consider yourself loyal to. Are your feelings of loyalty exactly the same for all of those? Probably not, and that's one of the reasons why loyalty can be tricky. To make the idea of loyalty even more complicated, think about this. Let's say I go on a 4-day beach vacation once a year, and for the past 10 years I've returned to the same resort hotel each year for that vacation. And now let's say my neighbor has the opportunity to go on 3 weeks of beach vacations each year. She chooses to go to the same hotel I go to for one of those weeks, but goes to 2 other resorts for the other weeks each year. Who's more loyal to the hotel that we both go to? And to add even another layer of complexity, which of us, my neighbor or me, does that hotel consider the more valuable guest? Our job as collectors of consumer opinion is to understand the guest or customer perspective of their loyalty. And that means letting them tell us about their intentions regarding the behaviors associated with loyalty. From there, businesses can develop frameworks for internally defining loyalty with context. All right. So how do we do this? Well, first let's take an overview of how we structure our guest and customer satisfaction surveys. Our surveys are divided into 3 main sections. The 1,000-mile view, or first impression of how we did. Then we get into the details. We dig into the details of how that first impression was built. And then finally, we wrap up the survey with what all this means for the future. The opening section is framed in terms of how we did in relation to what the guest or customer expected. We just simply want to know if we met, exceeded, or did not meet the expectations of the customer or guest. We'll skip over the detail section for now. This is typically the lengthiest part of any of our surveys, and it gets into detailed ratings of services, facilities, products, everything that makes up the overall guest or customer experience. And then finally, the wrap-up section, or takeaway, focuses on 2 questions relating to the habits of loyal customers or guests. Would you come back, and would you recommend us? Based on the responses, we do some math and assign each of your customers or guests a score that represents their likelihood of having a positive or negative impact on your future business. We call this score the fan value score. And we figured it out after looking at more than 10 years worth of feedback data. There are 5 possible fan value scores that each of your customers can earn. A +2 is the highest, meaning that this person will likely have a positive impact on future business by either being a repeat customer or spreading the word about your business. A +1 is next best, just a little less likely to have that impact. A 0 fan value score is neutral, and it's unclear from their feedback whether you'll see them again or if they'll spread the love about your business. And then there are the -1 and -2 folks, who are less likely to come back and more likely to have a negative impact on business through word of mouth or a review site. In our next video, we'll do a deeper dive into how we ask the questions that drive this model. Remember, methodology matters, and how this fan value score loyalty segmentation has been helping our clients in so many ways over the years. So that's all for today. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. If you like it, please give us the thumbs up. If you didn't, well, you can do that other thing, I guess. If topics like this interest you, please subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you'll know when new videos are posted.